Good afternoon, friends, and welcome. I'll be sharing live trades and results with you. We'll be evaluating how well these trades work out. We'll be benchmarking this against the S&P 500. I'm expecting to be outperforming it every month. Along the way, I'll also be sharing some lessons I've learned about investments, trading, and building wealth. And of course, the mandatory disclaimer. This is for educational and entertainment purposes only. It should not be interpreted as advice. And with that, let's get into it. All right, welcome to trade 16. A little problem with this trade because I wasn't able to capture any of this live. So we're just going to take a quick review as to what happened. But it is a trade, although pretty small. At the end of this day, we took an entry and we took an exit the following day. And you can kind of see that reflected in my chart for all these buys and sells. So this blue L 1003 shares, that's entering a long position. The yellow marks the exit. You can see the same thing over here with a corresponding exit. You can see the same thing here with a corresponding exit. And you can see the same thing in this last trade. So it's a valid trade. One thing that I think you might find interesting too, since this is going to be a rather short video, is you can see that the amount of shares is changing. So in this trade, it was 999 shares, but that turned to profit. So the next time around, I'm in with 104 shares. So that helps sort of the compounding effect of the trading method on this. So anyway, it was a quick one-day trade. It was a pretty small incremental change, but let's head over to the tracking sheet and see where we are so far. All right, that trade completed on June 4th. The S&P 500 was at 528.39, and the S&P picked up a 0.21% gain. That brings the year-to-date total for the S&P 500 to 11.17%. The S&P 500 is having a pretty good year. On that particular trade, we picked up 0.27%, so just slightly more. That brings our year-to-date total to 12.71. So we just added a little bit of gain to our lead, not too much. Switching over to our metrics, the percent winning trade is up to 75%. We expect to see that around 70. So what this means to me is I wouldn't be surprised if we're going to take a losing trade at some point. But hopefully the run will continue as long as possible. Our beat the market factor is at 1.14. We'd like to see that at 1.5. Anything greater than 1 is good. But if we get up above 1.5, we know we're really making some significant returns. I think that's important because if we can't beat the market, there's no sense in us trading. I also added, just for fun, some additional years in what the beat the market factor was. So back in 2020, it was 1.39. In 2022, when the market was incredibly bad, it was 2.95. Here's a great place to see it, 1.58 or so. What that means is instead of 26%, we're making 42%. That's pretty significant. And sort of where we are today, we're ahead of the market. The market's at 11. We're at about 12, 1.6% higher. That's kind of where we see it with 1.14 as in terms of our beat the market factor. So I just added those in there for your reference. You can see where we are in our 4-year view of our trades. We are closing in on halfway for 2024, but that brings trade 16 to an end. We'll have to see what happens on our next trade. That's it for today. How do you think we're doing? Please comment below and let me know how this compares to other investments you've seen. This is for entertainment and educational purposes only and should not be taken or interpreted as advice. Until next time.